Hello everyone, and welcome to our Riverboats webinar with Olivia. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us and learn a little bit more about our riverboat vacations. A few things before we start. We're going to ask you to please mute your phones. If you're on a phone line, just go ahead and press the mute button. During this whole webinar, we will be having our guest services team on our chat box, and they are on now. So if you have any questions to type in, go ahead and type them in. They will answer them. And anything that cannot be answered, we will save until the end for a Q&A. Today we're going to be reviewing 3 Riverboat Europe trips, and at the end we will just highlight our China trip that's a little different. We'll tell you about that. So we have 4 different types of trips that Olivia offers. We have cruises, we have resorts, we have adventure trips, and we have riverboats. And riverboats we have been doing for the last 7 or 8 years. We've been using several different companies, and we have been using the same one now for the last few years. So we're very, very excited about being able to show you this. My name is Jill Cruse. I'm the Vice President of Guest Experience, and joining me a little later on the webinar will be Alexa Chausse, our travel consultant. Through the Riverboat, this presentation, we will be telling you a little bit about what to expect on riverboats, what they're like, what the ports are like, and what the programs are like on board. So what is the Olivia Riverboat experience like, and how does this differ from other vacations? Well, one of the things that's really cool about riverboats is that you're with a small group of people, about 138 people. We take you from port to port, place to place on a very calm river that sometimes goes through locks. We are constantly seeing shore on both sides, and we can be out on the open deck and just kind of see the world pass by and see people living their daily lives. When we stop in a port, you can walk right off the ship and be there. A few times we do bus people to certain areas, but for the most part you're in non-touristy areas that are really only accessible by riverboat and quickly by riverboat because we just take you from town to town. We have 8 days and 7 nights on the ships, and as we were mentioning before, we do work with Avalon, and they are one of the best riverboats on the river, we think, and they also have some of the largest rooms on the river. We bring a little different from what you might expect on a big cruise ship or resort. We bring 2 Olivia entertainers with us, and they will entertain us throughout the week, as well as some of the local entertainment that we bring on to add some flavor to the trip. We also bring 4 Olivia staff, one of them being a solos coordinator, another being a special needs coordinator and activities, and one of our sales coordinators as well will be on board. We also know this cruise line so well that we know who the best cruise director, local cruise directors in Europe are, and we always make sure to get the very best for you. They are very knowledgeable. They know the history of places. They know what to do in each port. And each night we will give you a briefing before dinner to talk about where we will be the next day. We'll give you some highlights about what are the best places to find good pastries or lots of good places to go on your own, as well as when we're in each of the port, you get an included excursion. So there'll be mostly walking tours, and you will be able to go and see some of the highlights of the city in your walking tour with a local guide. We also offer the opportunity to do optional excursions, so if you want to see a few more things in depth, you certainly have the option to do that and be able to extend your visit in a different way, or just have free time where you can really enjoy some of the daily life of the cities we visit. The meals we have usually, depending on the region we are, we'll always offer something from that region, whether it's a main dish, cheeses from the region, local wine, beer, soft drinks are always included with dinner, and soft drinks are included during lunch. We also have complimentary Wi-Fi on board, which is great, and bottled water is replenished in your cabin daily. These ships have a lot of space on it, so even though they don't look really big, they're actually very nice size. And the top deck is one of our favorite places because you can actually sit on a lounge chair, fall asleep if that's what you want to do, take a nap, or just watch the day go by. The food is excellent. We usually have a breakfast that is buffet with an egg station. Lunch is usually buffet with a menu option, and dinner is a sit-down menu option dinner. The service on board is fantastic. The people love us on board. In fact, they don't want us to leave ever. Some of the riverboat amenities that you might enjoy while we're on board. There is a back lounge on the ship that has a 24-hour espresso machine. People love that, as well as cookies and fruit available 24 hours. There's a bar. It's all non-smoking, so there's a smoking section on the outdoor upper deck only. There is even a fitness center. If you didn't get enough walking on our tours, you can go and walk on the treadmill in the fitness center. And there are panoramic windows throughout every ship, which means even in your cabins, which we'll talk about cabins in just a minute, but the cabins, most of them have sliding glass doors that you can open right onto the river and have that fresh air come in. There's fantastic choices of appetizers that we do before dinner as well. And there's even a hair salon if you feel like you need to get your hair done while you're on board. So we like these ships because they are some of the largest cruise riverboat rooms on the river. They're 172 square feet. The suites have a little sitting area as well. And one of the things that's so great about Avalon is that you'll see some riverboats that have balconies, but balconies do take up space, and it takes space away from the size of your room. Whereas the concept of having sliding glass doors with a small French balcony, which basically are just bars that are on the outside of your window, gives you the concept that you can actually just open your window and be right there on your own balcony within your room. So it does give you a little more space in your room. The bathrooms are very spacious. They have glass doors and not the plastic shower curtains that you might see on a lot of ships. Very modern design, and the beds are incredibly comfortable. They have pillow top beds. They have Egyptian cotton duvets. Really comfortable rooms, and plenty of storage as well. If you have two people in a room with 3-door closets, there are premium L'Occitane bath amenities on board. Just really comfortable and a nice way to be able to travel on the river. And what makes it, of course, very special, it's all in the company of women. It's all Olivia. And what's really great, and we found this many times, is that we will dock up against another cruise ship or sometimes even 2 cruise ships, and we will watch them having their show in the lounge, which is some, who knows what it is, a piano player playing polka music, something like that. And then you look into ours and we have so much more fun. We just laugh and have such a great time. And the women on board are friendly, and we have solos as well as couples on board. And even our solos, one of the things that's so great about the riverboat trips is we have a solos coordinator. So if you're traveling by yourself, you'll have a coordinator that will reserve special tables in the dining room for your lunch and dinner, so you always have a place to come and sit and be with other solo travelers. Or you can mingle with the couples as well. It's up to you. And each port, when we do a tour, we have a solos designated tour or a solos designated color for a tour that you can all travel together on the tour with. So you have a choice of being with other solo travelers or not. It's just your choice of how you want to enjoy your vacation. The other thing I do want to mention is as well, we have a special needs coordinator. So if you're a little slower in the walking, which you need to be ambulatory for this trip because there is a lot of walking, but we do have a gentle walkers group on most of the included tours that we do. And this is just for people that want to take a little more time getting from point A to point B. Great for photographers who want to take their time, take photos along the way. But we do offer that on many of the tours, not all, but on many of the tours as well. But you do need to be ambulatory. It is one of those places where there's cobblestone streets, there's stairs, and a lot of standing and a lot of walking on the tours. And so here, let's talk about our riverboat vacations. We are starting our first one April 12th through the 19th, which will start in Brussels, Belgium, and we'll be going all the way down to the Netherlands, ending in Amsterdam. Our first day on April 12th, we'll be arriving in Brussels. Everybody will either be flying in, or you can join us on our 1 or 2 night pre-hotel package where we will give you an opportunity to come in early and also enjoy a tour of the local area of Brussels and get yourself all prepared and caught up on your sleep to enjoy the trip. We'll include a transfer from your host hotel to the ship in Brussels to Namur, which the ship will be, where the ship will be docked. We will then enjoy going along the river to many of the areas of Belgium, as well as in the Netherlands. And these are some of the places we visit with a few highlights. The Arc de Triomphe in Brussels. We have the Collegiate Church of Notre Dame in Citadel in Dinant. The Groot Market in Antwerp. And what's really fun about a riverboat is that you do have the opportunity to just take some free time and be with each other. Go grab a baguette, go grab some cheese, some wine, a glass of water, something, and just kind of enjoy the day. Have a picnic if you like. We also go to Gavere, Belgium. We go to Ghent, which is really our drop-off point to take an optional excursion to go to Bruges. And if you've never been to Bruges, this is one of the most beautiful cities, I think, in Belgium. We also have the opportunity to go to Dordrecht, and we end in Amsterdam. Now, ending in Amsterdam is really beautiful, and before we get to that, I just want to talk a little bit about some of these other cities we visit. Ghent is a beautiful city unto itself, and of course we do have an included tour as well. We go to Dordrecht, which is wonderful Netherlands, parts of the Netherlands, incredibly quaint and beautiful. And with all the tours, Olivia has the boat, has the tour, whatever it is, all to ourselves. So you have your own local guide with Olivia women joining you in every port we go to. As we mentioned, we do have a pre-vacation stretcher package in Brussels that we will offer, which you can get more information on our website, as well as a post-cruise vacation, which we highly recommend if you really want to experience more of Amsterdam. With this particular package, you'll have an option for a 2 or a 3 night package, and we will take you to the Red Light District. We will go to the Anne Frank House. We will go to Keukenhof Gardens to see the tulips in bloom, which is one of the most beautiful gardens in Amsterdam. And as well, we'll go to some of the old town and gay areas of Amsterdam for you to enjoy. So do consider taking that post-trip with us. Some of the points of interest in Amsterdam, the Van Gogh Museum. Again, got to try those Belgian waffles if you're going to be in Belgium. And we still have early bird pricing available, and it will expire October 15th of this year, starting with Category E, which is very limited. These are rooms that have windows at the top. They're just below the water levels, but you do have windows. They start at $42.99, going up to the sliding glass windows rooms that are $53.99 and $56.99 depending on the location and the deck it is on. We do have a very wonderful special that we don't do very often on these trips, but just for these riverboat trips in Europe, we're offering a special $100 off per person, and Alexa will be talking about that in a little bit. Our next trip is Tulips and Amsterdam Riverboat. So when we end in Amsterdam on the first trip, we will then start with another group and go and do all of Amsterdam and the Netherlands. So it's a great way if you want to extend your vacation from just a 7-day trip to a 14-day trip, or if you just prefer that you like to see Amsterdam and the Netherlands area, then join us on this leg. Again, we start in Amsterdam. We'll be going to all of these small little port towns within the Netherlands: Haarlem, Friesland, Lelystad, Jelsters, Liesel, Rotterdam, and then 2 days in Amsterdam where you'll have an opportunity to really experience it. Starting in Amsterdam, we will again offer you an included transfer from our host hotel to the ship, where we will start our trip that evening, and then we will be visiting these other areas of the Netherlands. Here's a few samples of some of our past trips when we've done There's a windmill on a dike, so you'll feel at home being amongst dikes in Netherlands, of course. And great areas that we'll be going to. There is a wonderful museum we will be taking you to as well, with incredible statues and Van Gogh photos. And I can't remember the name right off the top of my head, but it is one of those places that you will never forget. And we have bikes that will be available. You can just ride through the park with and enjoy a picnic lunch. There's a few more of the areas that we visit. Again, many of them are port towns or just very small, intimate villages that you'll really enjoy. And I want to stress that when we do go to Amsterdam, you will have a free afternoon to do some optional tours, as well as doing a canal cruise that will be included. And then we end our trip on the 26th on Tuesday in Amsterdam. Here are some of the areas of Amsterdam which you'll have an opportunity to visit, which will be the Keukenhof Gardens, which is absolutely beautiful. Seeing some of the houses along the Grachten is just absolutely gorgeous and peaceful, and this is part of some of the canals in Amsterdam that you will see. Now, one of the things it's really important if you really want to extend your time in Amsterdam is that you can take our 2 or 3 night pre-package that will really, again, very similar to the first trip, where we will offer tours that will go to the Anne Frank House, the Red Light District, and get behind the scenes on that, as well as we'll point out what coffee shops are, just in case you're interested, as well as going to Keukenhof Gardens as part of your included tour. What's special about this one is that we end on the 26th of April, and on the 27th of April is the annual King's Day celebration in Amsterdam. So we are offering a 2-night package so that you can have a hotel, which are very difficult to get during this time, to really extend your time and just enjoy King's Day on your own while you're in Amsterdam. Amsterdam just has all sorts of surprises and fun, and here's a sample of what King's Day celebration is. Almost like gay pride in some ways. There's lots of partying, fun, happy people all over the place, and the rivers are just boosting with lots of fun, entertainment, and activity for sure. So on this one as well, the pricing is similar as the first one. We have early bird pricing still available. We do not have any Category E's available left right now, but we do have Category B's limited at $52.99, Category A, and Category P, all dependent on the deck you're on and the location of the room. These are all have picture sliding glass doors as well. And again, we'll be doing this webinar special, Alexa will talk about a little later, $100 off per person on this trip. Our next trip is we're going Paris to Normandy, and this will be our second time doing it with Olivia. This trip is so special because not only do we start in one of the most beautiful cities in France, but we also get a real taste of history as well as art along the way. We start in Paris, we go to Vernon, which is a really great place to go to Les Andelys, which will take us to Giverny, which is where Monet painted those beautiful pictures of the ponds and the pretty purple color flowers. And then we also go to Caldebecq, France, Rhône, which will take us over to the Normandy beaches, Conflans, another beautiful little small town, and then back to Paris. So a little highlight of each of them. We do get on the ship on Tuesday. We will offer a 1 and 2 night package in Paris. So we will have a included transfer from our host hotel to the ship on that evening. And as we sail away, I'm sure we'll be able to see the Eiffel Tower all lit up as we go down the Rhone River, or the Seine River, excuse me. On Wednesday, we'll be in Vernon. Again, this is Les Andelys. This is where we actually get our included visit of Giverny, where you get to go to see where Monet painted and beautiful gardens of Giverny. Or you can choose to go to Béziers Castle. So you have a choice of included tours. And then we have a pastry demonstration on board because, you know, that's what we do. We eat, we have pastries, we have cakes. That's what we do on these ships. And have a really, really beautiful day in these two places. On Thursday we go to Caldebac, which is another one of gorgeous areas along the Seine River. And you'll be able to see the half-timbered houses as an option, or you can go to the Abbey, which is a former Benedictine Abbey church, to see that. So you have a few choices of included tours in all of these places we go to. When we get to Rhone, that's the point where you're going to have the option to actually go to the historic Normandy landing beaches. There is a museum as well that you'll go to, and the grave sites that is part of that tour. Or if you're not as much into the history and want to enjoy some of the local agricultural area, which is where Camembert cheese is made, you can go on the Taste of Normandy tour for an in-depth look of this agricultural area. Here are a few photos of Paris and a few things in Caldebac. And this is our lounge, and you know, this picture is great because it shows you how we're just docked along this beautiful shoreline where you can just get out and walk and enjoy the beauty of the river. So a few other parts of this too. Van Gogh was a big part of this tour. We will be going to take an option to go to where he actually lived and died, and go to the fields where he painted sunflowers and the fields, and you get a sense of what he saw as he was painting as well. You also have the option to go to Napoleon and Josephine Chateau. So there's options in Conflans to do, and then we also will land in Paris on the 1st, and then you'll have a overall view of the city, which will be an included tour by bus, and you'll have the option to be able to have the afternoon to do anything specific that you may want to do, whether it's to go up the Eiffel Tower or go back to any of these places where we got the overview. On Tuesday, on the August 2nd, we end our vacation where you can extend on your own, or we will organize transfers to get you back to the airport. A few little areas of the cathedral, the clock. And you know, one of the things that's so great is that because we've been to these places, we know the best places to get pastries, we know the best places to get ice cream, we know the best places for everything. So we will let you know where to go and enjoy it. So this is where we'll be offering a 1- and 2-night pre-cruise package. Oh, we're having technical difficulty. Oh, okay. If you can hear me, we will be with you in just a moment. Can you still hear me? Well, if you can still hear me, then I can probably do this without the slideshow until we can get it up and running again. Okay, so we're also offering a 1- and 2-night pre-cruise. So if you're all with me, we're going to work on the technical part, and I'll just go ahead and finish up the slideshow without the slides, if that's okay. Okay, so we'll offer a 1- and 2-night pre-cruise vacation stretch here in Paris. We'll have more information on that in August. We're looking at doing it in the opera section of town, which is a beautiful area to go to. Okay, do you want to see if it's, we're sorry, we're still kind of working on it. So here's a few pictures of the Louvre Museum, which you may or may not be able to see. Oh, and there is the Notre Dame de Paris. Well, it is really beautifully lit. I love it. It's just great. And the Opera Street in Paris is one of the most beautiful buildings ever. In fact, it kind of reminded me of when we were in Prague, in Old Town Prague. It just was like being in Paris in the 20s. But so that's in Paris we'll talk about. And we do still have early bird pricing still available if you're interested in that trip. And we will also be offering that trip at $100 off per person. The prices on this trip start as low as $37.99 with Category E. And we have a Category A at $46.99 with Category P at $47.99. I'm just want to see what's next, and we'll just do this. Okay, I'm going to have, okay, so we're having a few technical difficulties. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay. Okay, so we're hoping that this works. And I'll wait for a thumbs up from Stephanie, who's so wonderfully working on this for us. And you know, we're still going to work on it, but we're going to have Alexa Chausse, who's our travel consultant, talk to you about some of our special Olivia initiatives. Alexa?
Thank you, Jill. That was great. I just wanted to add an extra note. Riverboats are hands down some of my favorite trips to take with Olivia, and I can tell you right now that some of our seasoned travelers who've been with us on several different types of trips with us would attest to that as well. So anybody considering or on the fence, this is definitely an opportunity you don't want to miss. So thanks, ladies. This is Alexa, and I'm here representing Olivia's friendly and knowledgeable team of travel consultants. And I'm just going to take a few minutes to cover some Olivia initiatives, various trip offerings, and opportunities offered on these trips. So for starters, I'll get started with our group program and group discounts. The more the merrier, we always say, and group travel on an Olivia vacation is not only fun, but can also be rewarding. So just imagine you and your best friends exploring unique European villages and indulging in local culture and culinary fare. Now I want you to note that our group program is typically not eligible for our riverboat vacations. However, Olivia is making an exception for today's webinar attendees, and here's how it works, just a couple of tidbits for you. For starters, your group must consist of at least 8 guests, including yourself. At least 1/3 of your group must be first-time Olivia travelers. You, as the group leader, will receive $100 off for every guest that books into your group, and each member of your group will receive a $100 discount cost off the trip they book when they commit to traveling with you. And you may actually continue to add guests to your group up until 60 days prior to departure. That, of course, will always be based on availability of the ship. A few important factors to consider. This offer applies to new reservations only and cannot be applied to any existing reservations. Discounts are non-combinable, i.e. cannot be combined with any other Olivia offers or discounts. And this offer is only applicable to our European riverboats. This is not going to apply to the China riverboat. And now moving on, I wanted to discuss a newly launched program for our devoted Olivians. It's our Olivia Ambassador Program. Olivia is looking for reliable women who absolutely love Olivia and have what it takes to become an Olivia ambassador. And what that means is being an Olivia ambassador is a unique opportunity to share your love of travel and the all-women experience only offered by Olivia. So if you love, breathe, and travel Olivia and are willing to devote your time and efforts to representing Olivia in your area and help us grow our community, give us a call and we'll be happy to provide you with more details about this opportunity. And now I'd like to move on to address our Solos program. We get a lot of inquiries regarding singles-specific vacations, and though we currently do not have any singles-only designated vacations, traveling independently with Olivia is a great way to travel. You have the freedom and flexibility of an independent traveler, all while traveling amongst like-minded and progressive women. We get loads of solos on each of our vacations, typically a good 10 to 15%, so that number can vary based on the trip size. But ultimately, you will have endless opportunities to make new friends from all over the country and the world alike. Our Solos program is always staffed by our very own Olivia Solos coordinators, and it always offers a wide array of activities, mixers, and excursions. And in addition, we always provide designated areas for our solos to sit together at dining and entertainment, which really does afford you the opportunity to mix and mingle with each other throughout the week. Now the pricing for solos, since our pricing is based on double occupancy, we do have a few options to choose from. If our solos are looking to keep the cost down to per person pricing, you can do that by opting to do a cabin share, whereby we will actually match you with another solo on the trip to share the cabin for the week. And just for your reference, we do match our solos mainly on smoking and drinking habits, and this has proven to be a very successful and popular program amongst our solos, and many of our guests have made some wonderful lifelong friendships in the process. Please note the opportunities on riverboats for shares are going to be limited to availability and subject to availability. For guests that are traveling independently that are not interested in sharing a cabin and prefer their own, that's absolutely no problem. You simply pay the double occupancy plus the taxes, and you'll enjoy your own cabin for the week, all while still continuing to participate in all of our daily solos, mixers and programming, etc. Alrighty, so moving on from our solos to our lovebirds, how about a honeymoon with Olivia? Who can think of a more romantic honeymoon destination than amazing European cities like Paris and Amsterdam? Imagine spending your honeymoon cruising along a riverboat through vineyards, soaking in breathtaking views of castles, and exploring historical landmarks with your fellow Olivians celebrating along with you. We've partnered with Honeymoon Wishes, and they have provided an easy and seamless way to register for your honeymoon. You register at Olivia Honeymoon Wishes, and then you can browse through a selection of fantastic gift offerings, such as dollars towards your Olivia honeymoon vacation, cabin or room upgrades, bottles of champagne or wine to toast your momentous occasion, land excursions, couples massages, and more. Really, honeymooning with Olivia is a once-in-a-lifetime experience you won't want to miss, and it's really easy to set up a registry by visiting olivia.com and then simply following the instructions via the Honeymoon with Olivia section of our homepage. So take a look at that if you're interested. Let us know if you have any questions or if we can be of assistance. And then finally, I just wanted to make a note that Olivia is happy to offer payment plans. We have 3 options to choose from. The first being a $500 non-refundable per person deposit, and then you pay the balance in full within 60 days of booking. That has no additional fees attached. The second option would be to take your total and divide that into 4 equal payments. The first installment would be your deposit, so to speak, and then you'd have 3 more consecutive monthly payments, also with no additional fees. And then the third option is back to the $500 per person non-refundable deposit, and then we can divide the remaining balance between August and 60 days prior to travel date. This option does have a service fee of $10 per person per month, and on most of the trips that we've discussed today, you're looking at approximately anywhere from 6 to 7 months to spread those payments over. So again, if this is something you're interested in more details on, just give us a call. We can go over exact numbers based on your cabin preference and your total trip cost. And so I just wanted to give you a final reminder of the special webinar offer that we are doing today. As Jill mentioned, we are offering a $100 per person discount for any available categories on our European riverboats for webinar attendees today. So simply mention RB100 when you call and book by Wednesday, August 5th. And that's pretty much it for me, ladies. If you have any other questions, you can simply use the chat function via this webinar, or just give us a call at 800-631-6277. Dial option 1 for our sales department, and our consultants are happy to recap any of these initiatives or further discuss your next Olivia vacation. Thanks again for joining us today. We hope you found this webinar informative, and we do look forward to seeing you again on board soon. So now back to you, Jill.
So I want you to picture this. Thank you, Alexa, by the way, for your very informative talk. And I hope you were imagining all those beautiful pictures of having fun on a riverboat while she was explaining all the specials we have. Now I want you to picture a photo of Shanghai Harbor and then seeing the itinerary of China. We have a riverboat trip that is not just riverboat, but also land. It includes planes and buses and a ship on a riverboat. It's 13 days, 12 nights. We're doing China, and this will be our second time doing it. Last time we did it is in 2010. This trip is a 12-night, 13-day trip. It is 3 nights in Beijing, 2 nights in Xi'an, 5 nights on the Yangtze, 2 nights in Shanghai, with an optional 5-night trip to Guilin and Hong Kong. It is absolutely the best way to see China and to do it with Olivia. You don't have to think about a thing. We take care of every detail. Okay, now imagine seeing Tiananmen Square, the Forbidden City, pictures of a local woman in one of her homes, the Great Wall of China. Think about the terracotta warriors. Deb Bobbitt buying a t-shirt in a t-shirt shop at the Great Wall. Those are the pictures I want you to envision since we can't see them on the screen right now. We will take you to Great Wall. We'll take you to Tiananmen Square. We'll go to the Terracotta Warriors. Well, we will be in the largest, most powerful vortex in the world. This is exactly the reason why the Terracotta Warriors were buried there. Is even larger than Sedona for those of you who are very into the vortexes. It's a very powerfully spiritual place. We will take you to Wushan, go to the 3 gorgeous dams. We'll visit a local school and have an opportunity to bring donations, and we'll end our trip in Shanghai. We do still have early bird pricing for China. It expires on September 18th, and it begins at, again, this is a 13-day, 12-night trip that starts at $5,299 per person. There's also a category at $68.99 and also one at $59.99. So if you can join us, that is all inclusive of your flights within China, all of your transportation, all of your tours, everything included. Don't miss it. So we look forward to seeing you, and thank you for your patience on this trip. I know that it was a little, or on this particular presentation, we had a little technical difficulties, but we do have time for a Q&A if anybody has any questions we were not able to address while on the screen. So we will get those in 1 minute, and I will be happy to address them. In the meantime, feel free to contact our travel consultants. They're happy to take your reservations. So Leslie J., the question is the pre-package for Amsterdam Tulips Cruise the same as a post-package for Belgium? Very good question. Yes, very similar package. So yes, you would have the opportunity to do the same thing if you did the first trip in Belgium on the post-package, or if you were to do the second trip on the Amsterdam trip to do the pre-package. Anita L., are you considering any riverboat trips within the U.S.? Well, there's the Mississippi River, which I don't think will be going on anytime soon. However, having said that, we do know it ends in New Orleans, which is a great place, but we possibly could be doing that. There could be a riverboat in the St. Lawrence, and there's one up in also in Oregon, but at the moment we don't have a riverboat plan within the U.S. Is the dress code, from Pamela, is the dress code the same or different as Holland America? It is very relaxed, very similar to Holland America. We do not have a formal night, so we really have a casual, elegant night, which is really wearing the best of what you brought. And we don't necessarily, you can wear shorts for dinner if you prefer to. Sometimes it's a very warm trip, so you really want to keep light, kind of resort casual clothing on board. Anita L. asked, do you have medical personnel on board? You know, great question. We do not, because the fact that we are so close to shore, it's very easy for us to get a doctor from shore to the ship quickly. Of course, they do have first aid kit for things that are things that can be addressed, but otherwise no medical personnel on board because we have such great access. Is the post package for Amsterdam redundant? Is it the same as the Amsterdam pre-package? So for the Tulips trip, no, it's very different. So if you're going on the Tulips trip and you take the pre-package on Amsterdam, the post-package is only 2 nights in Amsterdam to experience King's Day. So there are no tours on the post-Amsterdam trip. It's purely hotel because of the fact that hotels are so hard to get during King's Day. So we've already secured them for you. Question, is most of the traveling by night? Sometimes it's by night and other times it's by day. And if we're going places where you'll see some interesting sights along the way, we will have it narrated up on the top deck. So you can really, as we were talking about in our earlier slides, you can really just watch the people have their general days on shore. You can watch the towns as we go by. It's very picturesque and really beautiful to be outside. And that's also, like I said, there's a lot of times I will go perusing the outside deck at the top and you'll see a lot of people napping. It's a great nap time. So if there's no other questions, we have one more question. And we will end it after this question. What is the height of the tulip season? You know, it depends. We have always gone at the same time. We've usually done this April 12th through 19th, 19th through 26th. And Keukenhof has, you know, tulip blooming all during that time. If you're on the Amsterdam trip, you're going to see most of your tulips when you're in Keukenhof. That's really where you see it. On the way in, there are some fields there. And it's, you know, it's really hard to say because sometimes it's a really cold spring and it may take the tulips a little longer to bloom. And once they bloom, they're cut immediately because actually they're cut not for the flowers, but they're cut for their bulbs. And so sometimes it's a very warm spring, and if it's earlier, the blooms will happen earlier for the big fields, and then they're cut. You know, so it's really difficult to say, but we generally always take the height of the season, which is in April. So I want to thank everybody on behalf on all of our team here to put this webinar on and for staying with us. We thank you for attending our webinar, and we do look forward to seeing you on Olivia Riverboat Vacation in the future. Thank you.